Thinking about starting your own podcast? Think it's a good idea that you try Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. And Anchor gives you everything you need in one place. And the best part is that it's free. And the other best part is you can use it right from your phone or your computer. And I've been using it from my phone this entire time. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it really sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast, and there's no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey guys, so I kind of wanted to give you a update on this COVID-19 pandemic that we have going on right now. So I don't know, and I'm sure many people that are on the same side as me, I do not believe that this virus is anywhere near as bad as they say it is. There's obviously something that they're trying to cover up. What it is, I could take a good guess at it, and I'm going to tell you what I think it could be. And I'm also going to load some more information on here for you guys so that you can look at these articles as well. So there's a couple articles and a couple people that I want to mention in here that have given me some information so you guys can look at this yourself and you can see where my references have came from. So this first article is Stanford team finds evidence COVID-19 mortality rate is as low as 0.2%, 17 times lower than the WHO's estimate. So when I'm saying WHO, I'm talking about the World Health Organization. Okay, so a recent article, this is by Sayer G. I'm sorry if I say that wrong. A recent article published in the Wall Street Journal titled, "New Data Suggests the Coronavirus Isn't as Deadly as We Thought," confirms what I and many who have been questioning the mainstream narrative on COVID have been saying since the lockdown began. Fatality statistics have been dramatically overinflated due to the vast submerged iceberg of asymptomatic or mild cases that were never accounted for within the official statistics used as justification to shut down the entire country. Dr. Fauci has also raised concerns where he estimates that fatality rates may be 10 times lower than the official projections, and then add the fact that the U.S. government health, or the WHO, do not require objective validation of COVID-19 deaths. No virus testing is required, only suspicion that a person's death was caused by coronavirus to be labeled as such on a death certificate. And this is quote unquote, so you guys know this is not my words, you have a perfect storm of unsustained hysteria, which for those who have been paying close attention has played perfectly into the hands of emerging medical police state and new world order global governance agenda. When we're talking about here, we're saying, basically he's hinting that the government has another agenda for us, because if the statistics are way lower and this is based on suspicion, then why in the world is it over the board, like top crazy pandemic that's going on right now? Another couple things to state is that the testing kits they do have are not even actually accurate enough to distinguish the Wuhan coronavirus from the actual naturally occurring strains. And then as well, this doctor also said that the virus is no worse than any other coronavirus, which causes the common cold or expresses itself asymptomatically in healthy individuals who are naturally immune to experiencing morbidity or mortality from it. Okay, so if this is true, the fact that this is, that it spread through a fast rate, but then it's not as bad, then this would indicate that the catastrophe that's basically going on right now And all this and in the community and the media and everything in the medical, this is no basis in science whatsoever. And I'm going to read another quote that was said on here. I just think this is important for you guys. So, it may sound scary, but it's great news. It suggests that the large majority of people who contract COVID-19 recover without ever knowing they were infected, and that the U.S. infection fatality rate may be more than an order of magnitude lower than authorities had assumed. Based on the seroprevalence data, the authors estimate that in Santa Clara County, the true infection fatality rate is somewhere in the range of 0.12% to 0.2%, far closer to seasonal influenza than the original case-based estimates. This is not only a financial and economic hit or change for us, but this is also extremely, this is affecting, the psychological and the physical aspects of people right now, due to staying home and not feeling, like they can go out and have their freedom, basically. So the other part I wanted to add for you guys is there is a website called questioningcovid.com, and you can go on here. There are clinicians, researchers, and health experts from all around the world talking about the pandemic, questioning where it's coming from, the testing, has anyone actually gotten this virus, is it contagious, is this actually from 5G, where is it really coming from, where did it actually come from, there's all kinds of what really makes you ill, there's a whole new kind of perspective on this, and it kind of brings light to a lot of these people out here that are questioning this. Like, all these people that are out here questioning are not stupid, and we really know that this is not what they say it is. Here is the one article that I really wanted to read to you guys that I think is playing a huge role in what's going on right now. So really quickly, the satellites that we have, this is in relation to this. SpaceX, which has already had 360 satellites in orbit, had planned to launch 60 more on April 2nd, but they delayed the launch because of the coronavirus situation. The launch of 60 satellites took place yesterday, bringing the number in orbit to 420. Okay, so the last Friday on April 17th, they submitted a new application to put these satellites in the air. So these satellites had declared bankruptcy, and then obviously because of the economy and the shutdown, so these satellites did not get put up in the air. Now, many people are afraid of asking. This has to do with your cell phone, okay? These satellites that are being put up in the air. This has to do with the 5G satellites, all these things, where they're getting put up. It's the only reason I'm mentioning this. So many people are afraid of even asking, is 5G playing a role in this? Maybe you guys, none of you have even heard of this. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? What does 5G have to do with this? And maybe some of you are shaking your head like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. So here are a couple of things. Now, this is somebody, that has valid. I'll give you, here, let me see who this article is from here so I can give you the right information. This is Arthur Furstenberg, who wrote, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, who I got this, and Kim Lockhart is the one who sent me this message. She's a good friend of mine. So basically, here are some things, and this is somebody who, he's not going to speak anything that could be misleading. This is all facts truth that he believes could be important for people to know. Okay, so did 5G cause the coronavirus? Okay, no. Does 5G cause disease similar to the coronavirus? Yes, it does. Did COVID-19 originate in bats? No, it did not. And funny question here, is COVID-19 a recombinant, RNA virus created in a laboratory intentionally or unintentionally as part of a research program whose purpose was to protect the population? Did it escape accidentally from a virology laboratory in Wuhan, China? Probably so. So here are some other crazy things. So masks actually do not protect the wearer, and to be honest with you, healthcare workers caught viruses from their patients were 13 times more likely to catch it if they had a mask on than not having the mask on. And this is actually, giving us a false sense of security. So, and then again, the masks are harmful to the wearer because these can hold, this can hold bacteria. And also, this restricts your breathing in some sense. And then also, these ventilators that people are getting hooked up to are actually not even working, but they're causing the problem to be worse. So basically, right here, it says Dr. Cameron Kyle Siddell quit his job in the intensive care unit at a medical center in Brooklyn because he was required to put his COVID-19 patients on ventilators that he felt were killing them because the air pressure was damaging their lungs. And think about it. These are all people who are getting put on these ventilators because of this COVID-19. His coronavirus patients all had severe hypoxia, which is, loss of oxygen, but healthy respiratory muscles. They needed oxygen, but he said, but not pressure. So that was the problem. And one big thing to note here too is the fact that these patients are, they're losing oxygen, and it's not about the actual virus. It's the fact that, these people are just getting lower, their bodies are getting deprived of oxygen. Like I had already mentioned before, and again, this is another person making this statement, March 25th on 2020. A false positive means that you are diagnosed with COVID-19 when you don't actually have it. Now on shutdowns. Do shutdowns have any effect? Now, Japan, I'm going to read this real quickly so you guys have an understanding about this as well. Japan, which did not shut down until April 6th, and then only with voluntary measures has 2 COVID-19 deaths per million population. China, which shut down in December, has 3 deaths per million population. Belarus, which never shut down, has 4 per million. South Korea, which has only voluntary measures, has 5 per million. Iran, who shut down in early March, has 62 per million. Sweden, which did not shut down, has 156 per million. Switzerland, which did shut down, has 165 per million. Belgium, which did shut down, has 503 deaths per million population. Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, all close to China, have no COVID-19 deaths at all. Vietnam shut down in early February, Laos shut down in late March, and Cambodia has never shut down at all. In the U.S., South Dakota, which has not shut down at all, has 4 times as many cases, but fewer deaths than neighboring Montana, which is completely locked down. So basically what they're saying is these shutdowns don't have any effect at all, and whether you're, whether you're here or there, like these, it's not going to make a difference. And that, not only this, but overall, the mortality rate for the United States has been steadily going downward since January, but mortality has been substantially lower than at this time last year. So number of deaths in 2019 of week 1, 58,291, right? The number of deaths in 2020, 59,087. Now, if you look here, number of deaths at the end of 2019, 865,181. And this is this is week 15 into 2019, and then week 15 into 2020. Okay, so week 15 into 2019 is 55,477 deaths. And then this 15 weeks, so the 15 weeks of 2020, we've had 47,000 574 deaths in the United States. So that means that 45,522 fewer people have died this year than last year during the same period of time. I'm going to add one more little piece in here for you guys that I think is extremely important. So, radioactive, radio frequency, radiation, and COVID-19 cause similar disease. So I know how I mentioned before that 5G is actually affecting us more than we realize, and this is my whole theory on the fact that they're trying to cover up that they're putting 5G satellites and towers in here, and it's slowly going to kill us because here's why. Okay, so noted some effects of COVID-19 and their similar effects of radio waves. So this is what has grown so far. So headaches, dizziness, nausea, digestive problems, muscle pain, tachycardia, hypotension, cardiac, strokes, and seizures. As many of 2/3 of people who test positive for COVID-19 have lost their sense of smell, and then sometimes without any other symptoms, if that's even what they have. Some are presenting with mental confusion without any respiratory symptoms at all, so that's not even a symptom of COVID-19, but they're saying that they had COVID-19. Patients are presenting with diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. Where did that come from? When patients with any of these symptoms test positive for the coronavirus, their illnesses are being attributed to that virus automatically. But these are all classic symptoms of radio wave sickness. Let me read this to you again. These are all classic symptoms of radio wave sickness. When both the virus and RF radiation are present, the disease should be attributed to both. So, and again, radio frequency can cause the hypopaxia. So impairs, oxygen absorption by the blood, and then the oxygen used by the cells. And it said that COVID-19 would not even be as severe, supposedly, if it wasn't even for the radiation. And this is the scary part, and I'm going to end with this. Recently, there was a new symptom that is being attributed to the virus that is exactly what one expects to see from millimeter waves. And when I say millimeter waves, I'm talking about 5G. 5G is these tiny, tiny little waves that are going in the air, and this is exactly what a patient came in and said. Fizzing sensation throughout the body. It's also being described as a buzzing sensation, a burning feeling, and an electric sensation in the skin. It is probably being wrongly attributed to the virus and is due instead to 5G.